Well, good Sunday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business and let's wake up those football gods. Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I know it sucks because this is the official first weekend of the offseason. We have no football whatsoever to talk about today. But you know what? Because it is Sunday and we now have a void out there, I'm actually doing some work in my workshop and stuff early today, epoxying some of the cutting board butcher blocks so I can get them out. But I'm thinking that this afternoon we're going to do a live stream at 4 o'clock. We're going to do like an hour-long live stream, and we're going to do this a little bit different. If you are a channel member, you're going to be able to Zoom in. I'm going to put a link in for a Zoom call. You guys will be able to come in, give us your thoughts of the postseason, what the Cowboys should and shouldn't do, and so on. So that way we do this as a live stream, so that way we can have a little bit of fun and hopefully maybe come up with some reasons why the Dallas Cowboys are where they are and where they go from here. So I think that will be fun. As we sit here, today is the 20th already of February. You know, it's kind of crazy because we're only 1 week away from the season ending, but come another week in a couple of days, we've got the combine starting. The combine, it starts on the 3rd. You understand that, right? 11 days from now, the combine starts. So we're going to be knee-deep dealing with that. We also have legal tampering beginning on the 14th of March. The 14th. That's soon. That's real soon. So we have a lot of action that's going on, and the Cowboys have to figure out who they're going to keep, who they're going to let walk, and who they're going to restructure so that way they can be a player. We've seen now current history shows us that you can kind of rent players. You can buy a Super Bowl. You've seen the Rams now do it. You saw Tampa Bay do it. In some instance, you could almost say that the Eagles did and kind of started the trend because they were doing all the trades and bringing all the free agents and stuff, and were able to make a great soup out of those players and things. And so you're seeing an evolution in football. So for us, a lot of us figured it's a given that the Cowboys are going to re-sign Randy Gregory, but I'm beginning to have second thoughts. Now, the only person we've actually heard that they have a priority in signing is Michael Gallup, who has a torn ACL. Now, this may be that we're just baffling with bullshit. Maybe this is negotiating ploys to kind of say, we really don't want you, or we can make it without you to try and get better deals. That is possible. But as of yet, we've seen nothing. When Stephen Jones said at the beginning of the season, we're not going to be, dealing with any contracts until after the season, well, they certainly kept to that word, and they did not deal with any contracts at that point. So I'm sitting here thinking about Randy Gregory. Randy Gregory, and let's take a look at his statistics that are over here. In Randy Gregory's 5 years that he's been a Dallas Cowboy, unfortunately, Randy Gregory spent most of his time on the commissioner's list because of passing the Dutchie from the left. Maybe it was from the right, too. I don't know. It might have been from the right, the left, and all that, but being out because of marijuana. Randy Gregory has never had problems as far as disciplinary problems where, he's out in the club fighting or anything like that, or domestic abuse, nothing like that. His only problem was he smoked weed, and as they say, for his bipolar. And if it's not bipolar, forgive me, but mental stability, we'll put it that way. In those 5 years, we're talking about 50 games. 50 games, he's had 16 and a half sacks. He's had 85 combined tackles, 64 solo tackles, 21 assists, 19 tackles for loss, and 52 quarterback hits. We've had penalties, 3 in which in the playoff game against him. Some were warranted, sometimes they're questionable because Cowboys never get any, break when it comes to penalties. If it's anywhere close, you can guarantee the Cowboys are going to get a flag. But tackling an offensive lineman, and getting called for tackling and holding an offensive lineman, you can't have that happen. I've seen hits before where Randy Gregory, late hit, low hit, unnecessary roughness call on the quarterback. Be that as it may, last year he ended up tying his 2018 season where he played in 14 games with 6 sacks. That's good numbers. It's good numbers. Last year, as not a starter, he had 3.5 sacks. It's a guy you'd want to bring back because there's not a lot of miles on there. But here's the problem. The problem for the Cowboys is money, as well as looking at the draft. If we are to believe the draft experts that believe that there will be 17 edge rushers that'll be drafted this year in the first 100, more edge rushers than any place else. They believe that it's stocked full of edge rushers. That would say that you should be able to get a really good edge rusher even in the second round. First round, you may be able to get a really good one. So that is a possibility. And the difference of paying a young guy who has no miles on him, no injury history, who is dirt cheap, versus Randy Gregory. So the question is, if you don't re-sign Randy Gregory, are there any options on your team to replace him? Now, here's an interesting one. We all talk about Randy Gregory, and we must re-sign him. But then there's Dorrance Armstrong. Dorrance Armstrong, surprisingly enough, I'm actually amazed at this. Dorrance Armstrong this past season actually had 5 sacks. Am I looking at the right one? Yeah, 5 sacks, 37 combined, 23 solos, 15 assists, 3 tackles for a loss, and 12 quarterback hits. He wasn't a starter. He filled in when Randy Gregory wasn't there, basically, and to give blows. If we compare Randy Gregory and Dorrance Armstrong, Randy Gregory got the lion's share of work. But you look, Dorrance Armstrong actually had more solo tackles, more assists, 5 less quarterback hits, 1 less sack. Now, Randy Gregory did have 3 forced fumbles, and he also had the interception against Washington. But you have to think, if Dorrance Armstrong had more opportunities as the starter, that he probably would have been a little bit better as far as the numbers go. You follow me? That you look at that, and I'm trying to see if we actually had percentage of plays on this. No, we don't. Didn't have that. So you could look at this and say, maybe we let Randy Gregory go and pay Dorrance Armstrong. I think you get away with paying Dorrance Armstrong a lot less than you do Randy Gregory, but the numbers for the last few years are very, very similar. Because here's the thing. And this all comes down to money. The question is where do you look at how much money Randy Gregory would get a year? When you think about JPP is getting 12.5, or Darrell Hunter is getting 14, Robert Quinn is getting 14, John Franklin is getting 13.7, Josh Sweat 13, Yannick Ngakwe is getting 13. You have to look at this and say, more than likely, he's going to be in that $12 to $14 million range. And the problem for the Cowboys is we always end up getting big contracts for guys, and we say we can't live without them. And the problem is they never seem to pan out for us. We pay them the good money, and we think that, oh, yeah, they're going to be great. Oh, they're going to do wonderful things. But yet it doesn't seem to work. Now, on the flip side, here's the flip side of this and the way you have to look at it. I talked about Trey Flowers for New England, who had kind of similar numbers to what Randy Gregory did. He ended up leaving New England, signing with the Detroit Lions, a 5-year, $90 million contract. Great money. Ain't mad at him at all. Now, he probably will be cut by the Lions. He's been injured the last 2 years and only having a few sacks each season. So you look at that and say, New England was wise. I believe they ended up getting a third-round compensatory pick for him. They didn't get stuck holding the bag with all the money. And you have to think that people out there will look at Randy Gregory as one of the top edge rushers and take a flyer on him. So you can probably believe that we can at least get a fourth-round compensatory pick. And if you're thinking that this draft is full of edge rushers, you get a young guy to go on the outside. And for me, that's where I think that the Cowboys' thought process is. We're going to go ahead and we're going to wheel and deal. We're going to wheel and deal and try and get better value and get rid of some of these bigger contracts and not increase anymore at the moment. And when you start seeing and knowing that a team like Cincinnati was in the Super Bowl with 7 new starters, when you think about what the Cowboys did on defense last year, bargain basement shopping, going from 29th to 7th in scoring defense, you start saying, maybe we do need to stop paying these guys big money and look at renting guys. We'll see if that happens. Now, I did forget something here this morning. Let me double check. Dustin Adams. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday, Dustin. All right, so we're going to end this morning before I go up to the workshop. And remember, I'm going to set up a live stream for 4 o'clock today. And we're just going to chat. It'll be that Zoom-in call. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun talking about the Cowboys. Let's check out the thoughts on, can the Cowboys open the Super Bowl window with Dak and crew? Let's just listen. I hate to do this, but we're going to score more. I just can't this morning. Anyway, I don't think the Cowboys window was closed. Not when you saw a Cincinnati team that was 6-10, 2 years in a row, go to the Super Bowl. How can you say that this team's chances are gone? They're not. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. And then, like I said, we're going to set up the stream for this afternoon, 4 o'clock. I hope you guys join us in here. You know how we roll. Our coach here, as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is